Hey guys, my name is Chloe and I'm a private pilot, and this is my co-pilot Papi Chulo, and today we want to help the aviation community by reading this book out loud on YouTube for you. This is the Instrument Pilot Oral Exam Guide, 11th edition by Jason Blair. For those of you who are preparing for your instrument check ride, but maybe you don't have time to sit and read, or maybe you don't have the patience or the attention span, and you just want to listen to it, but it's not, I don't think it's online anywhere. I think it's not on Audible, and it would be great to have it as an audiobook, but it's not available that way. Now, I want to do this really, really bad, but I can't because I will get a copyright strike on this channel, and that will make Papi Chulo and I very, very sad. Right, baby? Be sad. So instead, what I've gone ahead and done is I have made notes from the book that I'm going to read to you, and I'm going to read it to you in the most interesting way possible. Guys, we already know this stuff is really dense, it's really boring, and that is probably the number one challenge in studying, is how absolutely boring and dense this stuff is. So I'm going to try to spice it up by reading some of it in a very, very heavy Brooklyn accent. My mother's from Brooklyn, my father's from Manhattan, I'm from Manhattan, but I was incubated in a Brooklyn womb. So trust me, I know, it's in there. So the book is written question answer style. I will read the question more Brooklyn and then more civilized for the answer to keep your head in. I have extracted the important parts from the chapter and section because a lot of it is redundant and nobody has time for that. Okay, it's already very dense as it is. So I've extracted only the most relevant stuff, and I'm also going to add in where the information comes from in the FAR AIM or the advisory circular or the FAA handbook that you can reference and read more about that information. So let me know if this helps. Let me know if you want more of it. It helps me definitely as I'm getting ready for my instrument check ride. So let me know if it helps you, and I'll keep on keeping on. I will go through this whole book. But for now, we're doing Chapter 1, Preflight, Part A, Pilot Qualifications. And so without further ado, Poppy's already falling asleep. Baby, please look alive. Okay, sweetie, I know it's hard. It's hard to read this stuff. All right, so here we go. All right. What experience requirements must a pilot meet to be eligible for an instrument rating in an airplane? 6165. You need 50 hours of cross-country PIC, 10 have to be in an airplane. So if you have a helicopter license, you could do 40 in a helicopter, but 10 have to be in an airplane. You need 40 actual IMC or simulated, 15 of which have to be with a CFAA. 3 hours of those have to be within 2 calendar months of your Fakakta check ride. By the way, Fakakta is Yiddish, is a Jewish word. It is roughly equivalent to the F word in English. So, you need one 250 nautical mile IFR cross country with an approach at each airport with 3 different kinds of approaches total. So you probably end up going to a third. You very likely will end up going to a third airport during that flight. So you go one 250 nautical mile IFR cross country with an approach at each airport with 3 different kinds of approaches total. Question 2. Under what flight operations must your pilot be instrument rated? When do you need an instrument rating? So 61.3, 61.133, 91.135, 91.157. Under IFR, weather conditions less than VFR minimums, class Alpha, special VFR within class Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo surface areas between sunrise and sunset, and when carrying passengers for hire on cross countries over 50 nautical miles or at night. That really pertains to anybody that is commercially licensed but is not yet instrument rated. Okay, so if you've been carrying passengers for hire on cross countries of less than 50 nautical miles and just in the daytime to go over 50 nautical miles or at night, you need to be instrument rated. All right. Question 3. What currency experience requirements must be met for a pilot to act as PIC under IFR 6157? You need a flight review. All right. And to carry passengers, you need your 3 takeoffs and landings within the preceding 90 days in the same category, class, and type, if applicable. Type rating is required. You need has to be to a full stop if it's at night or in a tail wheel. Now, as far as instrument stuff goes, within the 6 calendar months preceding the month of the flight, you need 6 approaches of any kind. You need to do holding procedures, and you have to have in your logbook intercepting and tracking courses through the use of nav aids. Now, Regulation 6157C says that you can do this in a full flight simulator, a flight training device, aviation training device, but that is subject to limitations. Only so long as that FFS, FTD, or ATD represents the category of aircraft that you hold your rating in, and you can accomplish, and you do complete the tasks in simulated instrument conditions. So we have an FTD at our school, and you can just set up the weather conditions, and you have to set it up for simulated instrument conditions. That's what you would do. All right, what's the difference between currency and proficiency? Oh, this fakakta question for the millionth time. So you're current when you've accomplished the minimum FAA regulatory requirements. All right? You're proficient when you're smart, safe, and experienced. Proficiency is go inside your head and you say, all right, what's the real deal? Am I ready for this flight? For real. That's like getting real with yourself. All right, skipped a few questions on to question 7 because 5 and 6 were just ridiculous redundancies. 7, must the CFII be present if you're using an ATD to maintain IFR currency? You're already instrument rated. So do you need a CFII to be present if you're using an aviation training device to maintain currency? 6157 says no, you don't. Now, if you're training, question 8, what if you're training for your instrument rating? Yes, you need a CFII to be there, to be present when you're using that ATD. All right, this question 9, all right, here we go. This is a bit of a doozy. If you allow your instrument currency to expire, how can you get current again? 6157, 91,109. So you've taken your instrument Checkride, you passed. You did your IPC, all was good. All right, from that point forward, from that day forward, you got 6 months to stay current. Well, what if you let it expire? How can you get current again? The regulations say that 6-month period passes, you get a 6-month grace period to where you can fly in only with simulated flight with a thing, a fun limiting device, a view limiting device with a safety pilot, an appropriately rated safety pilot, and do your whole 6 approaches, your holding, your intercepting, and your tracking courses via nav aids. The safety pilot has to be at least a private pilot within the category and class of the plane that you're using. They have to have a current medical, 3rd class or higher, or basic med. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. Now, that 6-month grace period shoots by. Now what do? At that point, you do need an IPC, an instrument proficiency check, given by a DPE, a CFII, or any, this is the regulations, okay, FAA approved person. And also regulatory, it could be a person authorized by the U.S. Armed Forces, provided they're a member of the Armed Forces. Or, how about this situation? A company check pilot authorized to conduct instrument flight tests under parts 121, 125, 135, 91 subpart K, and provided that both you and that person are employees of the operator or fractional ownership program manager as applicable. Please, for the love of everything that is holy, go to 6157 for more information on that. Okay? 6157. Okay. Question 12. What do you do on an IPC? This comes from, what do you do on an IPC? I forgot my Brooklyn. What do you even do on this FCACTA IPC? You look to the ACS Appendix 5, Advisory Circular 6198. So you do 3 different approaches. One of them partial panel, holding procedures, tracking, navigating procedures. All right, so in an IPC, you do one precision or precision-like approach with a decision altitude, one non-precision approach, and one non-precision where the pilot must fly one procedure with reference to backup or partial panel instrumentation or nav display representing a realistic failure mode for the equipment used. Okay, so one precision or precision-like with a DA, one non-precision, and one non-precision where the pilot flies one procedure with reference to backup or partial panel instrumentation or nav display representing a realistic failure mode for the equipment used. Again, ACS Appendix 5 and Advisory Circular 6198. All right, almost done. 16. When logging instrument flight time, what ought to be included in each logbook entry? 6151. The location and type of each approach, and if applicable, the name of the safety pilot. Question 17, what is the definition of the term flight time? This comes from just CFR Part 1. All the time from when you move the aircraft for the purpose of flight until it's stopped after landing. How about instrument time? What's the definition of that? That comes from 6151. All the time you operated the plane solely by reference to instruments under actual or simulated instrument flight conditions. What about actual IMC? 91-155, AIM 534. This book says there is no FAA definition of actual, but it gives a reasonable guideline, is that IMC is anything less than VFR cloud visibility minimums for that airspace, and you're flying solely by reference to instruments. All right, question 20. What requirements must be met before a pilot can log an instrument approach procedure for currency or training? So, according to this book, you're operating solely by reference to instruments. You must be established on each required segment of an instrument approach procedure to the MDA or DH, and if you're in a full flight simulator, aviation training device or flight training device, the IMC must continue to the MDA or DADH. If you're really in an aircraft, then you must be under actual or simulated conditions. So actual or under the hood. When in IMC, so again, what requirements must be met before a pilot can log an IAP for currency or training? When in IMC, when you transition to visual conditions on the final approach segment prior to MDA or DADH. So you can log it when you, so you are you transition, when you actually shoot the approach, you can log it. Hello, right? That's my interpretation from that. When you shoot it, you can log it. Please tell me if you disagree or if that's incorrect, but that's what I get from that. Now, almost done. Question 21. What are the 4 methods a pilot may use to conduct and log instrument approach procedures? You're in actual, in an aircraft. You're in fun limiting device in an aircraft. You are simulated in a full flight simulator, flight training device, or aviation training device, or as per 6157, a combination of those 3 things. Question 22. Must you fly the entire approach to log it for currency? Yes, except no. You have to fly the entire approach, except for when you're being radar vectored to the final approach course. The last question that I pulled from here that shows the totality of the information. If you're in IMC, must the ceiling be at MDA or DADH before the approach may be logged? No. Honestly, this is a great book. Very thorough. Some of this could have been edited down a little bit. Some of these, you know, Captain Obvious wrote them, but nonetheless, it's very good to review. If this helped you guys, let me know. Let me know if I misinterpreted anything. Let me know if you have anything to add to anything that I mentioned. Again, this is Instrument Pilot Oral Exam Guide by Jason Blair, 11th edition. The notes are from Chapter 1, Preflight, Part A, Pilot Qualifications. Let me know if you want me to keep going, and I will. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. 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 I think he fell asleep. He heard 6157 twice, and that was it for him.